ready. Let them celebrate a little bit.
Today, after almost a century of trying, today, after over a year of debate, today, after all the votes have been tallied, health insurance reform becomes law in the United States of America. We are done.
I'm going to tell you why I showed you that video after this. Today is the day where you need to like all of our videos, you need to subscribe, and you need to ring-a-ling that ding-a-ling bell, because you're going to want to get all of the updates when our latest videos drop over the next months and years ahead. I want to start by, I'm going to get to why we showed a video of the signing of the Affordable Care Act in a minute or so. But first I want to deal with an issue about what this video is not going to be. If you came here to hear recriminations, if you came here to hear a Democrat weeping and moaning and suggesting that we made gigantic mistakes, you're not going to find that here. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz ran a great campaign. They had incredible enthusiasm. They brought millions of new people to the party, and they did everything that was called upon them. The other thing you're not going to hear today is me saying we didn't get our message out. That if we'd only listened more carefully to Republicans, if we'd only let their pain sink in, we would have won this election. I'm not going to tell you that either, because it's quite simple. The people who voted this man into office again knew exactly who he was. They didn't need to be told. They knew he was a rapist. They knew he was a racist. They knew he was a serial liar, and they knew he was a convicted felon. They also knew that he was facing other charges that were as bad as the things and worse that he was convicted of. They made the choice to put him in office. Now, I will toss only one caveat onto that, and that is this. They're not going to be happy when they find out what this administration is really going to be and what it's really going to do to them. And we're going to be there every day, in every way, pointing out to them that they did not get what they thought they did, that they do not have the support, that they did not get the economy that they hoped for. None of those things are going to happen. But I also want to say that a lot of people are treating this election like something it was not. And in light of that, I want to talk about a day, literally 40 years ago today. This is November 6th at the Century Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles in 1984. Ronald Reagan reelected for his second term as president in a true landslide. Not these things that are called landslides nowadays, but an actual proper landslide. And we're going to look at that. Heck, why don't we look at that right now? And here it is. There you go. This is the 1984 presidential election, and it was, of course, Ronald Reagan. Well, maybe you don't know this. It was Ronald Reagan versus Walter Mondale, who had been vice president under Jimmy Carter. And look at this. Look at this. Look at that. This is the electoral vote. 525 to 13. And here is the map. Let's look. I got a little bit of a bigger picture of that. Let's look at this map. Ronald Reagan won 49 states. Walter Mondale won his home state of Minnesota and the District of Columbia. And that was it. And I was around at the time. I was alive. I remember this. I remember how it felt to wake up to a loss like that. But it's important also to remember that in 2 cycles, Bill Clinton was elected. And it might have been able to be done in 1 cycle if we'd focused a little more strongly and been aware of the real challenges at stake in that election. But that tells you where we are and where we're not. We are not in a situation with 49 states going against us. And I know probably some of you are thinking, okay, well, but Ronald Reagan, that's Ronald Reagan. He was not as scary. He wasn't as scary as Donald Trump. Trust me, Ronald Reagan was very scary. In 1984, Ronald Reagan was very scary. In fact, a year before this night, almost exactly, a year before this night in a few weeks, I think it was October 20th, 1983, about 100 million people watched this television movie.
159er, Union, yes, Worst Tower, voice 61.
NATO intelligence sources report a massive buildup.
159er, airport takeoff on lane 5.
Two-way clear ground.
External post check 9.
The President is presently in direct communication.
Privilege of close.
Three Soviet tank division deployed.
Current world intelligence situation, and you might pay particular.
This is not an exercise.
One millisecond takes you beyond imagining, beyond tomorrow, and into the day after.
Yes, nuclear war. It was a real threat. And I know some of you out there are thinking, well, but nuclear war didn't happen, so we were overreacting. Trust me, we were not overreacting. It came very close to happening. There are books on the subject. There was an incident where some birds were mistaken for incoming Russian ICBMs, and if there hadn't been some quick thinking, none of us would be here today. And of course, you may remember the time when Ronald Reagan got caught on a hot mic suggesting nuclear war start in 5 minutes. So he was a very scary guy. And he was, in his own way, equally racist, equally reprehensible as Donald Trump. And I know you've been fed this nonsense from the Republican Party about what a great patriot and what a great American he was. It simply isn't true. He, in his own way, laid the groundwork for Donald Trump. But I bring this all up because I want to talk to you about where we're not. We are a divided country politically. Whether we're divided in other ways is a debate. But we are a divided country politically, but we're not divided like this. We're not 49-1. We're a 50-50 country. And on many issues, we're 60-40 in favor of the Democrats. 60, 75, 25. And this comes to why I began the video with the signing of Obamacare, because that is one of those issues. And here we go. Here's a tracking poll on Obamacare. And here's like the most recent poll on that, which was in April. And you see Obamacare has a favorability of 62 and an unfavorability of 37. Those are winning numbers. And why do I bring up Obamacare, though? Obamacare was passed years ago. Well, we don't know what's going to happen in the House. We don't know yet if the Democrats are going to take it or the Republicans are going to take it. And if the Republicans take it, one of the first things they're going to do is attempt to repeal Obamacare. And you know what that means? That means the end of pre-existing conditions not being something that insurance companies can use to deny you care. Insurance companies will be able to deny you care if you have diabetes, if you have asthma, if you survived cancer, if you have any one of 1,001 and more conditions, and you'll be bankrupt by the process. And many of those MAGA people out there, I know they have diabetes. I've seen them. They definitely have diabetes. And they're going to be paying thousands of dollars a month or more to cover the insulin in their households. And they're not going to be happy about that. And the other important thing to note is that if you were 30 if you're 30 today, when Obamacare was passed, you were 16. You probably don't remember a time when there wasn't Obamacare. If you're 40 today, you were 26. You may not have even been thinking about healthcare at 26, and you might not have been thinking about politics. Probably the term pre-existing condition means nothing to many of you. So we're going to have to go out there and refight this battle, educate people on this issue, but we can win this battle. It's a battle that's very winnable, and we can send the message to Trump and his cronies that they're not going to get the blank check that they think they're going to get. And before I go, I want to play a couple of clips that I think are going to remind you of the stakes and what we need to do in the weeks and months ahead. And first, I want to play a clip from our current president when he was vice president on that very day when Obamacare was passed.
Ladies and gentlemen, to state the obvious, this is a historic day. In our business, we use that phrase a lot. But I can't think of a day in the 37 years that I've been a United States Senator and the short time I've been Vice President that it is more appropriately stated. This is a historic day. And history is not merely what is printed in textbooks. It doesn't begin or end with the stroke of a pen. History is made. History is made when men and women decide that there is a greater risk in accepting a situation that we cannot bear than in steeling our spine and embracing the promise of change. That's when history's made.
That's when history is made. Vice President Joe Biden, now President Joe Biden, had it right. And I work in the entertainment industry. I probably have told you that in other videos. I work in film and television development. And one of the people who inspired me to take up this profession is a very famous director. He also had something important to say about what you do in moments like this.
Everybody has the choice of being a hero or not being a hero every day of their lives. And you can either help somebody, you can be compassionate toward people, you can treat some people with dignity, or not. And one way you become a hero, and the other way, you're part of the problem. And it's not a grand thing. You don't have to get into a giant laser sword fight and blow up 3 spaceships to become a hero. I mean, it's a very small thing that happens every day of your life.
Yes, it's a small thing that happens every day of your life. Treating people with respect. Knowing what the right thing is to do in the right situation. And one of the right things to do right now is not to wait. Donate to the Permanent Majority PAC. We have a lot of work to do. And I know a lot of you out there are tired. You want to take some time off. Just send us $5 today, $10, or $25. So we can bear some of the burden for you while you take some time off, regroup, and prepare for the fight. Because there is a fight ahead. And I know you're going to want to be part of it. And we're going to be part of it together. So please don't wait, donate. Go to permanentmajority.us and donate right now. Do it before you forget. Do it before you think about anything else. And it doesn't have to be a lot. As I said, $5, $10, $25. Whatever makes you feel that you're taking an action on this very important day in this very important week. And one other thing that you can do that's equally important is you can look at that video in the lower left-hand corner and click on it. At first, the video may seem out of touch. It might be about the election, but there'll be content in that video that's important to you and important to us moving forward.